Hi everyone, Jessica here from Wellness Through Wisdom. I'm going to show you how I make protection oil, and this is to keep away negative energies and lower energies, and can be used in ritual, can be used to anoint candles or sacred objects or corners of your home, yourself, anything that you need to use it for. So first step is, of course, saging the bottles that I'm going to use to make sure they are starting out clear. And of course I'm burning a black candle. Black is for protection, so we would use that. Okay, and now step 2, I have some sea salt, which we know is used for absorbing and transmuting lower energies, negativity, and we're going to do 3 little pinches in each bottle. 3 is a good number to use. Okay, and so each bottle will get 3 pinches. Pinch, 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 and so on. Okay, step 3 for me, there's many ways to do this, but this is the way I like to do it, is to use an herb called dragon's blood. And it's really a resin from a plant, okay, and it's for protection. And so what I'm going to do is put 3 small pieces, like this size, and I can break up these bigger pieces, and I can even use some of the powder, but I'm going to put 3 pieces into each bottle. Okay, so now you can see that I have started filling the bottles with sweet almond oil, and I'm filling each bottle halfway up, just like this, just pouring in some almond oil. Now I am using sweet almond oil. Some people use olive oil, some people use coconut. I am choosing sweet almond because it has virtually no smell, or not a very strong smell. It's kind of a pleasant smell. And I find that olive oil and coconut have strong scents that sometimes don't go with what I'm making. So I use a very neutral oil if I can. Okay, so the next step in my recipe, which I have created, is to add some essential oils, and I'm going to add 5 drops of frankincense to each bottle. Now the bigger bottles and their smaller bottles, I might do a little bit, I might double it for the bigger bottles, and I might add 3 drops for the small bottles. I'm gonna feel what that feels like intuitively, but these medium-sized bottles, I'm gonna do 5 drops. Okay, and I'm using a pipette, which is, I think, the best idea to do when you buy oils in large bottles. And it's okay if you get bigger drops, smaller drops. Just trust that it's going to be exactly what you need to do. And frankincense is a very protective oil, and that's why I'm choosing that. You could choose whatever oils you want to use. Okay, so I have added 5 drops of frankincense to my medium-sized bottles, which I have the most of. I added 3 drops to my smaller bottles, and I added 10 drops each to the large bottles. Okay, and I used frankincense. We know that's protection. We also know it was what was brought to Jesus by the wise men for protection, and it's been used for protection for thousands of years. So that is why I'm choosing that. And the next oil I'm going to add for my recipe is rose. So I'm going to go ahead and add rose oil to each bottle, And you can really use whatever oils you want to use for protection or that go with your recipe. I wanted this to be dragon's blood, rose, and frankincense. But there's other oils that are very protective, like angelica, basil. There's really many, many, many. And a lot of this is intention. So you have to have the intention of why you're using it, being intentional about the number of drops, and set the energies. One of the tips I want to also give you would be to start with a modest number of drops of essential oils. You can always add more, but if you put in a lot at first and it doesn't smell good or it's too strong, it's hard to fix that. So always start low, and you can always smell it as you go and add more. Okay, this smells perfect to me. Another oil that I think would be nice with a different combination would be jasmine. Jasmine has protective qualities. Some people use infused oils, like rue would be a good protective oil. There's so many, so you could really consult an herbal book. I have here the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs that actually has a list, has different lists. So this is all herbs of protection, as you can see. Frankincense is right there. We have rose, St. John's wort, sandalwood would be nice. I could even add that to this, but I'm not going to. And another book of protection, Silver Raven Wolf. Okay, so let's move to the next step. Okay, the next step I'm going to do is to put a piece of this frankincense resin into each bottle, and this will empower the oil. Frankincense has that sun energy, which makes things stronger and more powerful. It's a masculine energy, and I love the way that this looks, the gold color. So I'm going to put one piece, I should say, into each bottle. Now I did fill up the rest of the bottle almost to the top. I left a little bit of room, which you want to do so that the bottle can kind of shake and mix, and because I want to add one more thing to my oil. And I also did add a drop or two of olive oil to each bottle to represent Jesus, or Yeshua, as he was called. Olive represents Jesus and is associated with him, and he is one to call in for protection from lower energies, dark energies, negative forces that are at work. So I want that to be in my oil, and it is. And now what I'm going to do is add a little tiny crystal to each bottle. And so I'm going to be just picking out something unique for each bottle. There may be some repeats, of course, and if you're not sure what to use, the clear quartz is always a good choice, right? That can be substituted for any stone that you don't have, that it will hold the energy of for you. The black stones are all for protection. The shiny, like metallic kind of stones are good for bouncing back energy, reflecting negative energy. Okay, and I have some tiger's eye in here, which would strengthen my formula, give the person using it the strength, the power to feel safe and protected. I could use the amethyst. A lot of people use amethyst for like soothing and calming, but I really like it to amplify the energy of what I'm using. So there's a lot you could do. You could use root chakra colors for protection as well. So I'm going to kind of dig around and find. Okay, so this is a black stone. It's probably, it's hard to tell when they're this little, but it's probably tourmaline or obsidian, could be onyx. Okay, and so we're gonna put one crystal into each bottle. Okay, so each bottle now also has a crystal, and I'm going to go ahead and seal them up. So I can't really do that while I film. It's a two-handed process, but you screw these tops on until they click, and then they are sealed. And so when the person first opens it, they have to break the seal. So they know that nobody's been tampering in their oil. So I'm going to do that next. I do want to mention that I'm using caps that have an orifice reducer inside, which is important with this kind of oil, because if it just had a cap, let me show you, without an orifice reducer, just a cap like this, when the person dumped it over, it's possible that the resins and the stones would fall out. So having a nice little opening is the best idea. So what I'll do next, in my own private way, not on camera, is to sit here at my altar, one of my altars I should say, and the oils are here on the altar and they can be charged. I can do Reiki on them. Oh, there comes the sun. How perfect is that? And I can play music to them if I want, some mantras. I can draw symbols of protection over them with my wand or with a crystal. So I can now empower the oils in any way that I want. And I'll leave them there overnight to further be charged. And then after that, I'll simply make a label, or perhaps my son will make the label again for me. And that will be it. They will be ready. Now, some people do recommend making these on the new moon or the waning moon, or a specific moon based on what you want to do. So you can look into that yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video and give your own recipe a shot. Thank you so much. Blessed be.